Detroit. I mean, we've got all these very rich families, massive mansions right in Detroit where they're redoing it, but they've got this new, what's it called? It's not an EpiPen. It's like a freebie. You overdose on heroin and they give you the shot and you bounce right back. Well, what does that teach them? And you know what I mean? It makes you wonder where the parents are at. But it's an epidemic with drugs these days.
Epinephrine, I think it is.
Epinephrine, that's right.
Yeah, that's like the instant shot of adrenaline to the heart. But people aren't learning their lesson.
No, they're not, and that's the thing.
Dancing with the devil, man. Like you only get one shot at this game, and it's short enough as it is. That's the one thing that I realized is that like the amount of time, even though I was going through anxiety and depression and things like that, that's the reason that I drank and a lot of the reason I partied, just so that at least I knew why I felt like shit, you know? But the thing is that like when we're doing that and we're getting depressed and using that as a coping mechanism, that's still not the answer. And did you ever find that you were reaching out for any kind of like mental health issue, like an escape, or was this just all about the fun and the lifestyle?
For me, it was more the fun of the lifestyle, but it's very lonely.
Yeah.
Very, very lonely. You get those down days and you look for someone to reach to, but you got nobody because everybody you're associated with, you got to be their rock, whereas they are to you. And you kind of got this false bravado on kind of being that guy.
Yeah.
You're the man. How do you do it? You know what I mean? Doesn't it hurt? No, I'm fine. And it hurts deep down. You feel like a lowlife.
And there's you do, yeah. And then there's still people that even though you think they're your friends, I mean, money talks. If they were paid to take you out, some of them wouldn't hesitate, right? Yeah. It's just how they're programmed. So
I'm sure some would. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, not all of them.
You don't know, right?
Not all of them, but yeah, I mean, it's a major issue, man, and I'm glad that you got out of it. So let's continue with sort of, you started realizing that you needed to change. You had a business opportunity. You escaped, dodged, it sounds like a couple bullets, and you're in Vegas now. So
when I was in Vegas there, that's once I got that phone call and being down there, I realized I kind of had that, like Tony Robbins says, it's in your moments of decision where your destiny is shaped, and that was when I had that aha moment when I got off the phone, and my good friend of mine, Tracy Muir, she lives here in London, and that's how I got introduced to this business. She looked at me, she's like, "Jordan, you look sick. You're white." And I thought I was going to be sick. And right then and there, I made the decision, I'm going to help launch this company into Canada. And 7 years ago, I helped launch this company into Canada. And today it's the number one travel-centric company in the world. Mm-hmm. And I owe it all to Tracy. It was a very, very rewarding trip to be down there. And again, like I dodged that second bullet. And that's kind of when I turned my life around. Now, I'm definitely nowhere near where I want to be with the business by any means. It's been a long struggle and a hard road, a lot of up and downs, a very cyclical business, just like anything is that you want.
Well, are we allowed to say like that it's multi-level? Can I?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I mean, and I respect people that do multi-level marketing so much because, man, you put up with a shitload of rejection, and I've been involved in multi-level stuff, obviously with you as well.
Absolutely.
And sort of obviously, I was in it with a partner. We split, so that kind of fucked things up for the period of time. But I think that if I was to go back into any kind of multi-level marketing again, I love what you're doing. I love the concept of the business.
I mean, travel's just sexy.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, look at this guy's Instagram. Let's look him up. He's having the fucking time of his life.
Another thing with that too, guys, if you want to check out the club, I mean, due to this short notice of the podcast, I can't really talk too much about it because of compliance issues. I haven't cleared it with the company, but feel free to check out my Instagram. There is a link there. Inbox me. I can give you all the information you need. But
sure.
More than happy to fire anything off to you. It's a real cool company.
Yeah, he's on our the Sex and Suicide Instagram account, as well as I think you can find the link to your Instagram on the Facebook feed as well. So. Yeah. Anyways, let's go back to your story, man. So you pulled out. How did the chips fall? Like after you just, people are in jail. Did anybody say anything to you? What happened? And how did you get? And then let's talk about the book. So let's talk about that after.
Yeah, I pulled the plug, and there was definitely some people that weren't too happy with me, and they tried to keep me in the game, and I just told them no. For the most part, my close knit friends weren't too friends. Yeah, definitely friends, and they're still friends today. I just had to separate myself from that arena.
Are they still in that lifestyle?
Most of them are. Yeah. But excuse me. When I did separate myself from everything, a few of them were really hurt by it, and I approached them with my business, and some of them got involved and seen the opportunity as well. But again, like you said, the rejection that you deal with and the leadership skills that you have to kind of absorb and learn really quick from, unless you're really willing to jump into it full bore and hit the seminars, read the books, do the personal development. They're leaning on you for your leadership, and if you can't be there 24/7, when someone has something to say and they say it to them, it's coming right back to you.
Sure.
And that's when I started to get bloodied up, punched in the face, beaten down from my close friends that basically told me, these guys that are working with you that are making millions of dollars, they don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
They're only up here because you're making them a ton of money.
Right.
Now, all of us that are your real friends and you're trying to help us get out of this is bullshit. You either come back or we're not going to be around when you need us and this all comes crashing around.
Really?
I had tears rolling down my face, one of my best friends at the time. And I just said, all right, man. And that was another defining moment where you either make it happen, like that's the fuel to the fire. You're going to make it happen, or you're going to cry yourself to sleep and go crawling back to that old bullshit life that you wanted to get away from in the first place. So what the fuck's the point? So it pissed me off.
Yeah.
It upset me. And I still haven't talked to that guy today.
Really?
To this day, and that's been a good 6 years, 6.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, one of my best friends.
Really?
Yeah, and that really hurt. And I got away from it. Everybody obviously they've been watching. I bumped into a few of them here and there at like Home Depot and doing stuff around the cottage, just up in the hometown, right? And they're asking how's it going. They see me driving the car and my license plates and everything, and so they know something's up, right? But they don't want to admit it. It helps people justify their own inadequacies.
Yeah,
it definitely does. And then, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, so that people realize, in a lot of the multi-level marketing businesses, you get compensated with the BMW and things like that, and you are driving one.
I am driving one.
Whether or not it's part, I know that it kind of fluctuates. You have to hit your bonuses every month and all that shit, right?
Absolutely.
But what does your license plate say?
It says you said no.
Yeah. So it's
a friendly reminder to everybody that I approached you to try to help you.
A friendly reminder or a slap in the face? Which one?
A little bit of both.
A little bit in between.
When people I don't know ask me, I'm like, it can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, so did the girl say no when you asked her to marry you? I'm like, that's a good one. It almost came to that.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it depends. It depends. When certain people that I've actually approached about the business, and a lot of people have came back and apologized to how they acted towards me because they didn't see me as that guy that could do that. I just made a decision, and that's all it takes in life. You got to decide. You have to have such a compelling vision that it doesn't push you. You're not dragging your ass to do something. It pulls you towards your dreams and goals, right? And I just made that decision to go out and make it happen. Now, again, I'm nothing compared to some of the guys that I look up to, and I got a long way to go. It's a very cyclical business, and I've got a lot of incompatible goals that pull me in different directions, and I've really stepped away from it. So that's something I gotta get my own shit together again and really get back into the game for sure, right? But life pulls you in all kinds of different directions. But it doesn't mean quit. Sometimes you got to put things on hold to get back to what you really need to look after, and then get back on the line and get back to work. Right?
I don't know. I agree 100%, and I think that with this business as much as any other business, some of these. The reward can be huge, but the grind in the beginning isn't a big payoff. So a lot of people, you need to go in other directions in order to survive for that first little while, and sometimes it's just deterring. Have you lost any relationships because of the business? Yeah. So
absolutely, because too many people. When you do get people involved, the thing with this type of business is it's cool. You're your own boss, but you're also your own boss. It's a double-edged sword, When I ask people, if you're going to quit and you don't want to listen to me, before you quit, come listen to me, and I'll show you to do this the way our system is built to help you. Because at the end of the day, you gotta really up your standards.
Yep.
Because if you're coming into something and you're only joining because you're a friend of mine, but you really don't have that belief, I'm not going to waste your time or your money. I'd say, just no, don't find something where your heart's in it and your belief level's in it. Because if you don't believe 100%, more than 100%. How much action are you going to take? 100%? No, you're going to take 50%. So what's your results going to be?
50%.
50%.
Sure.
So when that happens, this doesn't work, Jordan. It's like, well, you only gave it half-assed. Well, I'll go try it again. Well, do you think they're going to do 50%? Not a chance. They're going to do less than that. The results are going to be less. They're going to come back to everybody. Told you it doesn't work. And that's why it's got such a bad reputation. You can go on all kinds of blog sites. And
multi-level marketing in general is considered a pyramid scheme, right?
Yeah, it's not exactly the hit parade. But
right.
You look at any corporate structure in life, it's a pyramid scheme.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
The higher you are up the ladder, the more money you're making.
Absolutely.
It's just which one is going to be the most rewarding when you get to that top. And for the people in a lot of these companies, it's fucking super rewarding. I mean, the numbers are just, they exponentially grow, and there's no limit really, right?
There's no cap. I mean, they usually reward you with another business spots and opportunities to do it again, 2, 3. You do it once, do it another 10 times. And I mean, it can be very rewarding, and you learn a lot of lessons.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of lessons along the way for sure.
So you kind of did this whole, like, it's just really funny because you went from something totally fucking negative and making a ton of money to almost the extreme opposite, where like now you're not dealing anymore, but you're still trying to sell something to you're selling almost like a dream to people. Yeah. But it's so positive. I mean, you went from selling like whatever you were selling, whether it was blow or anything but heroin, as you said, to fucking selling this positive like travel mindset. How did people take that knew you back from those days?
They looked at me like I was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like, man,
sure.
Like, go back to selling. Like, we'll buy what you used to sell.
Yeah.
But this shit's fucked. I'm like, guys, you got to listen to me. And I didn't know what to say. I did everything you could do wrong.
Yeah.
But I was still making money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, they definitely looked at me crazy. Now a lot of those people have came back since, and they have joined me in my pursuit. You know? And they've seen me go on the trips. They see it, and they see the belief. And I always tell them, like, don't listen to me. Yeah. Come with me.
Sure.
Let's go to a big event. Let's go check this out. I want you to talk to some of the people that have, oh, you're a doctor? Let me get you in front of a doctor that was sick and tired of being sick and tired, working 100 hours every single day for, you know what I mean? He provided one hell of a lifestyle for his wife and kids, but he's time broke. Now this residual income, it creates time freedom, and that's what everybody wants in life. I believe, if you have options, wake up when you're sick and tired of sleeping, that's a pretty good feeling, versus just, oh, my alarm went off, I got to go to work or I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
This is the type of business where you don't trade time for money, and you got to work your way up the corporate ladder and wait for someone to either get sick, get fired, die, or, quit and move to a different company for you to move up, where you own your own distributorship. You can make more than the guy above you because we get paid off performance. I go to work, and the guy next to me sitting and hiding from the boss, but I'm busting my ass all day, and I do enough work for 2 people. Does he not get paid? He still gets paid.
Sure.
How does that make me feel?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, fair enough. So when this, was this other business, this multi-level marketing business, was this in your life when you did your chapter of your book?
Absolutely. This is how I got turned on.
Yeah, tell me. Let's tell everyone about the book that you've kind of been a part of and how that came to be.
Absolutely. The book's called I Mastered Failure, but Look at Me Now. You can find it on Amazon. And I got introduced to that through a good friend of mine in the business, Johnny Wimbry.
Okay.
And he's one of my mentors in multi-level marketing. He's been a big help. Shout out to him. He's down in Dallas right now. Great guy.
Is he in your upline, would you say?
No, I'm not. His business is not directly affected by mine whatsoever.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so he's just a guy helping you out.
Great guy that helps out. When you help enough people get what they want, you're automatically going to get what you. And he's definitely that star that shines bright in that category for sure.
So what made him approach you?
Well, I always approached him because his lifestyle, he came from the streets, right? And he was a drug dealer. And
so it was a similar backstory?
Similar backstory, yeah. And he had one of his defining moments when he was going to avenge one of his friends that was shot right in front of him on the lawn. And he went to the wake, and he walked up to the priest when the mother was dying, because the mother told him, I forgive you. I forgive the guy that shot me.
Really?
So he walked up, and he had a gun on him, and he walked up to the priest and gave the gun to the priest and said, I don't want to live like this anymore. And that was when he had his defining moment. And since then, he's written the book From the Hood to Doing Good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really good book. I recommend anybody that's, kind of going through that type of adversity, that's been through the streets or still in the drug dealing game, looking for an avenue or a way out or something to relate to. That book is really good. Again, with I Mastered Failure, but Look at Me Now. There's a lot of different stories in there. His story is in there as well.
Yep.
Les Brown's story, some other best-selling authors like Jim Rohn, Jack Canfield. Yep. Some big names are in that book. And Johnny's just been a great guy to me, and I talked to him about how I could step my game up, and he said, well, how about you come work with me? I said, well, what do I got to do? He's like, well, apply through my business to see if you can get approved to go through my speaking mastery course. So I got approved, and I went through his speaking mastery course, and he gave me the opportunity to co-author in the book, and he just told me, lay down your story. And I told him how afraid I was to go down. He's like, well, you've got an inner conflict. you can't give 100% at whatever you're going to do in life if you can't look it dead in the eye and be open and honest to everybody that that's who you were.
Right.
You know, everybody, has got things that are holding them down, or they got ghosts and skeletons, as you call it, in the closet, right? And he said, you got inner conflict. You got to deal with that. If you put that down on paper, if you're afraid about it, well, it's fiction.